Hello, everyone. It's time for another book talk by Mrs. Piccola. This time I'm going to kind of lead up to it, but it's in the title of the thing. But I just want you to understand where I'm coming from and why I read the book that I read. It is nonfiction, although some people would disagree, but I'm not giving the haters any play. Okay, so in May, they're going to have a coronation of England's newest king. Not a fan. Okay. I will always be hashtag Team Diana. And let me tell you why. And it's going to lead into the discussion on the book. Now, this really isn't a book talk about the book, mainly because I got a lot of things to say about the British royal family. So, my obsession, really not an obsession. My husband did say that I could probably get a PhD in the history of the royal family in the 20th, 21st century. So any universities out there that have that major, come, let me know. I'll apply. We'll get the ball rolling. Okay, so started in 1981. I was years old. Did not have the best childhood. So this beautiful girl, teenager at the time when she came on the scene, a lady Diana Spencer, comes on the scene. And for someone who was raised on Disney's fairy tales, we have a real life princess in the making. So my obsession begins, and because I've always loved to read, my family feeds my obsession. So it started out with this book. I still have it. It was published, I checked, in 1982. Okay, so after the fairy tale wedding, which we now know was a nightmare. So that was book one. It's, it described her life growing up, because here's a funny thing. Diana's family has more royal blood in it than the current king. Just want to put that out there. That's why it was such a great match, because British blood, more aristocratic, blood was coming into the British throne. So Diana's children have more British blood than their father, who's the king. Just saying. Told you I got a lot of hate for this family. Not like call Secret Service. No, just I got some things I gotta say. Then here is the next book, also published in 1982, after their wedding, after they announce that they are pregnant with who we now know as William. I'm coming for you, second half of this video. Okay, saw a bargain book. I mean, look at this. $5.98 in 1982. More pictures of her. Okay, it's old. Okay, still got stuff on it. Then this guy is born. Okay, again, family tree of the family. Of course, Harry's not on there yet. Wasn't born. But just saying, a lot of German on that Windsor side. And I'm German too, so I'm not hating on Germans. I'm just saying I'm not sitting on the British throne. Okay, then we try to say, hey, everything's normal in this family. This marriage is great. So they go visit Canada, dress up, in the Klondike, more from 1985 or 86, and then the reason why I don't have any more books from that time period is because I start to just read tabloids. I'm old enough where I have my own spending money and just buy People magazine and other tabloids that have Diana's picture. And then we hear rumblings. Now, I remember when the wedding was happening that Diana was perceived to be this jealous woman who was immature and lashing out and blah, 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 was all her fault. We now know why she was lashing out that way. So we know the story. So this book came out, covers a little bit different because I ordered this through my book club because, I'm an English teacher. I belong to many book clubs. But We didn't realize at the time that she basically wrote this. Okay. Then she's killed in a car accident. I stopped buying tabloids, stopped feeding the beast because I felt guilty that I fed into this wanting to know everything there was about Princess Diana. And then he came out with an updated version where he talks about how they snuck the tapes from Diana's Kensington Palace apartment to Andrew Morton's home. People were catching on, so it was a dangerous mission. And you can see this all kind of chronicled in the past 2 seasons of The Crown. So she is killed. He comes out with this story. Okay, now, it has been well documented that the British royal family depends very heavily on the propaganda perpetrated by the British media, toxic British media. I read The Palace Papers by Tina Brown. Tina Brown basically said everything that Prince Harry, in this book that I am talking about now, says. But yet, when Tina's book came out, very few people said anything about it. They just kind of puffed it off. And then Harry comes out, says basically the same thing with evidence, and he's a traitor and he's lying. Now, if you don't believe me, go read Tina Brown's Palace Papers. I don't have a copy of it. I put it in our book club pile at work, so that's gone. But my daughter ordered me the Prince Harry Spare memoir, and I'm hearing that he has more, so I'm hoping there's a number 2, because this British family needs to be gone. Okay, British royal family. They've outlived their purpose. Okay, so let's delve into what Prince Harry tells us. So I will forever be Team Diana, and like I said, I watched it happen with her. Was it kind of, a child, teenager, grown woman, had my own children, and watch the same thing going on with his wife, Meghan Markle. Lovely, accomplished Meghan Markle. So, he gets the title from most British royal families, you're supposed to have the heir to the throne, the firstborn, and then the spare. And that's how they were referred to. Diana herself said the royal family will take care of the heir, I will take care of the spare. So that's why she was very close to Prince Harry, because A, he was the youngest and needed a little bit more protection, and B, she knew that she had very little say, even though she's more British than the royal family. I don't know if I pointed that out yet. That she would take care of Harry, because they really didn't care unless something happened to William. So, their mother was killed, hunted down, as her brother, the Earl of Spencer, said in his eulogy for her. And the British media learned absolutely nothing, because they turned around and they've done it to his wife. So you can Google the images, the video of him having to walk behind his mother's casket, which any human being was like, what are you doing to this child? This is not, but here is where the line of, is it duty or is it abusive, that Harry had to kind of walk on. And we now know, and he knows as well, as he says in his memoir, that it's abusive. No child should have to walk behind his mother's casket, cortege, whatever fancy French word you want to give it, at the age of 12. And then if you watch the funeral, we saw the mummy, M-U-M-M-Y, just to show how young he was. But because they're the heir and the spare to the British throne, they gotta, man up. Another archaic thing that needs to be gone. So anyone who's taken Psych 101 knows what Harry went through after with the self-medicating, which he talks about. He talks about drug use. Okay, well, marijuana is now legal in my state, so um, he is a venerated veteran. He went to war zones. You saw the Queen's funeral. He was the only one told not to. Well, his uncle Andrew, but fought in a war zone. And he gets crap from the toxic British media for saying the number aloud. It's in his book of how many people he killed, but that was his job. Okay, so people have seen him grow up, and he was quite troubled. Self-medicated, didn't really have a role, and you kind of see why he had such low self-esteem. I mean, he was told he was stupid, just with no reason. There was no reason. His grades were fine. He got into all, and I know he got into all these schools because of who he is, but still he kept up. When he makes allusions to pieces of literature that most teenagers cannot handle nowadays. He's not a stupid person, and it just saddens me that he, as an educator and as a mother, that he was made to feel that way by his own family. His father had that side piece he was more concerned about. And his brother, when they were in Eton, said, "You don't know me. Their mother was killed." And then you go to school together and you tell your youngest brother, pretend you don't know me? Okay, first of all, everybody knows you're related. But the cruelty on William's part, no wonder he's upset by the things revealed in this memoir. You're not a nice person. And now when I go back to the videos of your childhood, I should have seen it. You're not a nice person, Will. Not a nice person at all. And this is where you're making a huge mistake by not listening to what your brother says. Okay? And the thing is if you keep on the path that you're keeping on, there's going to be no British throne for you to inherit. But guess who's going to be thriving? This guy. Because he's discovered that you can love who you want to love, and that it doesn't matter on their skin color. It doesn't matter where they came from. William, we all know your wife and her mother schemed to get you. We all know that. So here's my advice to you, William. Separate from Buckingham Palace. They don't get it. They're going on with this coronation with a new golden coach for your father. And I'm dreading this day. Okay, first of all, the coronation date is Archie's birthday. A good grandparent would already have that in his calendar. I'm just saying, Prince Charles. But the moment they put that crown on that woman's head, when we, Team Diana, and the rest of the world see that crown placed on that woman's head with the stolen jewels, because, colonizers, diamonds aren't found in England from Africa. When that visual hits, there's no coming back. That is going to be the lowest point for the British royal family, is when that crown is placed on her head. Got a lot of anger, I can tell. You can see it. Don't care. Horrible person she is. So, what you need to do, William, you and Kate need to do an interview. Even though I know you call the BBC interview by your mom paranoid, have banned it. Never a good thing to ban things. That makes it look like you're trying to hide something. And you need to come clean. You need to address if there has been any infidelity, but not like your dad. Your dad is so out of touch, and he's 70 something, so TikTok. You need to admit if there was any infidelity. I'm not saying there is, but there's been a lot of rumors. And Kate, you need to own up on the fact that you were headed to another college, another university with another major, and all of a sudden you're at St. Andrews with art history. Huh. I wonder why. Okay, so we can stop that narrative quite easily. Kensington Palace, call me, contact me, I'll help you out. But you know who else? Who else can really help you through this? Your Uncle Edward and his wife Sophie, because they are killing it. Even though your father is petty and won't give your uncle the title he deserves, the Duke of Edinburgh, okay? That was promised to him, and your dad is being so petty. You know what, Princess Charlotte, I'm sure you're a lovely girl, but you know, your uncle was promised that. You're going to be fine, Charlotte. Even if there's no British throne for your brother George to inherit, you guys are going to be okay because you got enough money. But I would go with what Sophie and Edward are doing, because Sophie has that background in PR. And when all the racist stuff was brought to the top, yeah, I'm calling it racist because it is what it is. You got to call it before you can fix it. She has been quietly doing work with charities with more people of color. She certainly isn't riding around on a litter like you and Kate were. Have you looked at those pictures of you guys like waving and laughing, the white people, and then the people who literally are carrying you on their shoulders and backs, people of color, look like they want to murder you. Can't blame them. Not a good look. That's why your Caribbean tour in the summer was kind of a failure. It was forced, and people know what's happening. You got that racist aunt wearing the pin, the brooch, the first time she meets Meghan. Come on, own it. Own it. If you own it, you'll be part of the 21st century. If you stop aligning with Prince Charles, King Charles, whatever, and align yourself with Harry again, you guys are going to rule the world. Not that that's a bit, democracy is pretty cool. I have to say that. But you're going the wrong way. You need to break ties with Buckingham Palace, this coronation. I mean, the fact that we have people, the Spice Girls don't even want to sing at your dad's party because he's horrible. He's so out of touch. And you are the same exact way. So do an interview. Own up to all of the things he addresses in here and say, I realize what I did was wrong and I will do better. Because that's the only way you're going to save the British throne for your children. Because I quite honestly think that this isn't the worst thing that Prince Harry has done to the royal family. I think if Prince Harry took a DNA test, that would be explosive. I really wish he would. First of all, to dispel the rumors that James Hewitt is his dad, because the timeline doesn't mix, okay? Stop it. And the fact that we could see all the little illegitimate Windsors and Mountbattens just around the globe, that would be awesome. So I think Prince Harry, if he doesn't give a spare number 2, I would love for the results of the DNA test, because I think that would just put the nail in the coffin. Okay, but if you're not a royal family stalker, I guess, okay, I'll own it. I was telling Prince William he has to own it. This is not the book for you. But if you just want to see why people are so upset, why hashtag abolish the monarchy, hashtag King Charles the Cruel, hashtag not my king, hashtag not my queen, because they've gotten rid of the consort. Yeah. Again, another thing that's totally out of touch. How about just a little bit of respect for his mother? So this is the book for you if you just want to know why. Because they never said they wanted their privacy. That was something the British media said so that they could, every time that they put out a press statement, say, oh, I thought you wanted your privacy. They never said they wanted their privacy. They wanted their security because they saw what happened when his mom's security detail was pulled. So again, just he has not spilled any secrets that weren't already out there. He just confirmed them. So Kensington Palace, I really think you need to take a break away from Buckingham Palace, maybe hire some people of color, young people, just people who aren't privileged, who can give you a different perspective and as to how riding in a litter carried by people you colonized is not a good idea, because Jamaica's trying to become a republic. You're losing Australia. Australia has the Union Jack as part of their flag. And they're even like, you know what, British family, I think we're good. I think we're done. You know, we paid our loyalty to your grandmother. We're good. So I think if the British royal family wants to look at maybe a good role model about a modern royal family looks like, that would be the Scandinavian countries. Sweden, I mean, during COVID, one of the princesses was a nurse. So you know, you can see one, I want to say it was the Queen of Denmark, no, Queen of the Netherlands, who took away her kids, her grandchildren, and some of her children's, the spares, if you will, the spares, took away their royal titles. You're no longer on the payroll, people. You got money, find something to do. So I really think this is a turning point that Prince Harry has kind of warned you. But I really would like that DNA test. I'm really curious. I mean, we all know the Greek British family. I mean, Prince Albert's uncle, Leopold, bravo. Bravo to that guy, marrying all into the royal families. The Russian Tsarina, great. I mean, Alexander the Great, I'm talking Leopold the Great. He did a great job. Okay, so again, if you don't know anything about the royal family, could not care less about the royal family, don't read this book. But if you just want to hear it from his perspective, especially all these things, because they're so well documented, you know, that wearing the Nazi uniform, not the best idea, but he basically says, I was a kid of privilege and I didn't understand what I was doing, and now I do. Okay, so that's my review on Spare. So thank you, Prince Harry, for sharing your story.